Hey guys, welcome to On My Shelf. Today I'm talking about a fantastic resource on writing children's and young adult fiction. The Magic Words, Writing Great Books for Children and Young Adults by Cheryl B. Klein was probably one of the best books I've read on writing kidlit. There aren't many books on the market that have to do with writing good kidlit, but that is not to say this one is fantastic because there aren't many to compare it to. I've read a lot of writing craft books, and this is one of the best. Klein is the executive editor at Arthur A. Levine Books / Scholastic Inc. and writes from her perspective as an acquiring editor. While the book specifically had to do with writing middle grade and young adult literature, Klein did give a little instruction for picture books as well. This, I believe, is a necessary resource for any writer who wants to know how to write kidlit. The book includes Klein's tips on practical things like principles of good writing, age ranges in children's and young adult literature, the word counts that are expected per age group. But that's not all, of course. She also highlighted ways to use and develop your writing gifts, how to create a good story concept, how to fashion multi-dimensional characters, how to build bonds between readers and characters, the power of plot, creating scenes, and, probably my favorite, how to write the best first sentence, first page, first scene, first chapter. As you can see, it was a comprehensive guide on writing for children and young adults. What I enjoyed most about this book is that Klein is a very practical writer. She broke down each chapter into helpful lists, so you sort of have a checklist for your manuscripts. She also included in her chapters some exercises that writers can do in order to improve their manuscripts, or even to simply begin them. At the end of the book, she provided a list of the best kidlit to read if you're interested in writing for this age group. I took many notes that I'll be adding to my brainstorm documents so that I can brainstorm better stories before I even begin writing. I also have some ideas for revising current manuscripts using some of Klein's tips. My favorite part of the book, as I said before, was the section on first lines, first pages, first scenes, and first chapters. Because Klein writes from that editor's perspective and shares what she encourages her own writers to do so they have a stronger manuscript, her tips were incredibly helpful. Another valuable piece of the book was a passage from a submission that Klein had received, where she made extensive editor's notes that showed readers exactly what goes on in the heads of editors as they're reading manuscripts. I thought this was brilliant. I will definitely be using Klein's checklists and tips for revision, and I believe any writer, regardless of whether they write kidlit or other fiction, could benefit from Klein's information. I hope you'll check out The Magic Words and continue learning all there is to learn about writing well and efficiently, cultivating creativity, and running a writing business. Be sure to visit racheltolson.com to see some of my best writer resource recommendations, and pick up some of my writer resources at thiswriterlife.com. If you have any resources that you find valuable, leave them in the comments and I'll check them out. For more On My Shelf, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.